Kakadosh Boker Tov, we're continuing with the halachot of Pesach, Siman Tafayin Gimel. We just brought down something very, very important where it says over here, the Rav Chida brings it down, Rachim Falache brings it down, the Shlach Kadosh, that a person should not speak any Sichat Chulin, any type of mundane talk from the beginning of the Kiddush until the end of the Hallel, because everything is a Yichud Gamur ve'en lafsik benatayim, and you should not make a hafsek between them, which means that even if it is going to be that we don't go to this extreme, just to show you the importance of what it is, the night of Pesach, that you're not supposed to speak about anything mundane from the beginning of the Kiddush until the end of the Hallel. Maran and Siman Tafayin Dalet is talking about the second cup. And he says, what you do is you drink the second cup, you do not make a bracha, not bracha rishona, not bracha charuna. Why? You don't make a borei gefen other than the kos of the Kiddush and kos of Birkat Hamazon. Which means, unlike the Ashkenazim, what happens with them is that they are going to make a bracha on every single cup. We do not make a bracha on every single cup. We make a bracha on the first one, which is a Kiddush. We have to make borei gefen. After that, the second cup, you're still in the middle of the Kiddush. There's no reason now to come and make another borei gefen. And you're also not going to make bracha charuna because you have the Birkat Hamazon afterwards, right? Now, what's going to happen is that the third cup, right, is going to be when you're going to come and you're going to make the kos of Birkat Hamazon, which is the third cup. Now you're going to make borei gefen. But since you already made Birkat Hamazon, after Birkat Hamazon, you make a bracha on the borei gefen. So therefore, on the third cup, you also make borei gefen, but you don't do bracha charuna until after the fourth cup. Now, the fourth cup again, you're not going to make a bracha. If you just made a bracha on the third one, you're not going to make a bracha on the fourth one. There was no bracha, there was nothing in between that you're going to make a new bracha. So therefore you do not make a new bracha on the fourth cup. Right? The last halacha we'll mention, which is very, very important, is to do with how do you do the hamotzi. Maran and Siman Tafayin Hey. Maran Mefurash says as follows. Yitol yadav, you do netilat yadayim and you make the bracha al netilat yadayim. Remember that you did a previous netilat yadayim, right, for the tibulosh hamashke, and that was done without netilat yadayim, without the bracha of netilat yadayim. Now you're doing the bracha of netilat yadayim with netilat yadayim, and you take the matzot kaseder shenicham. So you have three matzot, whether you want to call them Kohen Levi Israel, whatever way that you want to call these three matzot, you have three matzot here, the top, the middle, and the bottom. The middle one, remember that you already, in Yachatz, you already came and you broke it in half, where you put the bigger piece for the fikomen, and you have the smaller piece here. And now what happens is it says you grab them all in your hand and you make the bracha of hamotzi. Okay, so when you're coming, you're making the bracha of hamotzi. You have all of them in your hand, all three of them in your hand. Why? Because you need lechem mishneh. When you need lechem mishneh, it's not going to be lechem mishneh if the middle one is broken. So therefore you need the top one and the bottom one for the lechem mishneh. So you make hamotzi. When you finish the hamotzi, you drop the bottom one. Because remember that the bottom one you're going to be using for the sandwich, which is going to come, for the korech, which is going to come afterwards. You drop the bottom one, and now you are left with the top one, which is shalem, and the middle one. And now you make the bracha of al achilat matzah. You're going to make the bracha of al achilat matzah. Fine? Very nice. Ve'achar kach, says Maran, after you just made the bracha of al achilat matzah, yivtza me'ashlema ha'elyona u'me'aprusa. You have to come and you have to break from the top one and from the prusa, from the broken one that you just used for the afikomen, that one, the middle one that you broke, you have to do it. Mishtehem biyachad, you're breaking them together. V'itbelem b'melach, you come and you dip it in salt. There's a whole question here, do you dip it in salt or not dip it in salt? The Rama brings that you don't dip it in salt. Some people, they dip it in salt and then they just brush it off, right? V'yochlem b'seba biyachad. You have to eat them beseba together. A kezait from the top one, right? And a kezait from the middle one. V'im eno yachol le'echol kishne zetim yachad, yochal shel hamotzi tchila, ve'achar kach shel achilat matzah. If you cannot eat them together, what are you going to do? First eat the kezait from the hamotzi, and then afterwards from the achilat matzah. Remember the hamotzi was on the top. The achilat matzah, there's a machloket. You have to remember, what's the entire concept here? What are we doing exactly? You need lechem mishnes, you need two shlemot, two full matzot. Now we have a machloket when we're making the bracha al achilat matzah. The bracha al achilat matzah is on the top one or in the middle one. Since you have both of them in your hand and we're not sure, you need to eat a kazait of both of them. So you're eating a kazait from the top one and you're eating a kazait from the middle one. Now obviously you're not going to have enough to give out from the middle one to all the other misubim. So therefore you should have another bag ready of the kizetim in order that every other person eats it. That's also another reason why we know that on the night of Pesach, Lecha Techila, you have to eat 5 kazetim. The first 2 kazetim is motzi matzah. What is motzi matzah? Whether it's going to be the part of the hamotzi or the part of the matzah. The second kezait is going to be from the korech, from the sandwich. And the last 2 kazetim is going to be for the afikomen. We're going to speak about why exactly do you eat 2 kazetim for the afikomen. That's going to be the lecha techila, meaning the best to eat on the night of Pesach, 5 kazetim. If you cannot eat 5 kazetim, so then technically you have 4 or mikaradin 3. Because even if you're not going to eat 2 kazetim for the fikomen, you're going to be okay. And even for the motzi matzah, Rabbi Zion Abba Shaul brings down that it could be that it's only the balabait, that he has all 3 of them in his hand, he has to eat the kezait from each one. So therefore he's the one that has to eat the 5 kazetim. But for example, if I'm just a bystander, I'm an onlooker, and I'm looking, I don't have anything in my hand, so I'm just going to come and I'm going to take my 1 kazait. So therefore, the minimum is 3 kazetim, and the maximum, which is not the maximum, the best, is 5 kazetim. To eat 5 kazites, and we'll speak about the kazites either on Sunday or Monday. So therefore, what happens is that here, since we do not know which one you're supposed to take the kazite from, you take the top one and the middle one, you break from both, and once you come and you break from both and you're going to eat from both, you're going to eat from both of them together. So this is Maran Mefurash. I don't know what other people heard or didn't hear, but Maran, this is Maran that says in Siman Tafayin Hey, the way to do the Netilat Yadayim and the Hamotzi, this is the way that we're supposed to be doing it on the 2 nights of Pesach. In order to be Yitzhak Chovah, as we already mentioned, Maran says you come and you take both of them together, you break both together, you should try eating both together in order to fulfill the mitzvah of eating the kazetim on the night of Pesach.